Let's try that again. We just recorded the funniest segment pre-show we've ever done, and I didn't hit record.
Second time's a charm, baby.
Yep. Now I'm not even excited anymore.
Guys, we got a voicemail offering some criticisms of week's break, Timmy.
I could always listen to that more than once.
And Chad and I have some information to share following this voicemail.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Pull the curtain back a little.
What's up, guys? It's Mr. Kata coming at you through the miracle that is cellular communication. I want to appreciate you guys for letting me be a part of that break last week of prison basketball. I just got my package, so thank you for that.
He got his.
I do have one suggestion for improving the breaking experience, if I can just throw this out there.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to air it out because it needs to be said.
Bring it on.
There was not nearly enough screaming for me throughout the duration of the break. I don't remember one time when anyone was hollering erratically as though someone had won $500,000 from a lotto scratch off. And I'm just like, how am I supposed to be excited about my LaMarcus Aldridge red prism that's worth $5 unless you are yelling profusely like it's worth $500? You know what I'm saying?
They let him down.
Look, Tim, you did great overall, and I know you've got kind of like this reserved personality when you're recording. Perhaps I should have better prepared myself to be underwhelmed, so maybe that's on me. So, like, I'm pretty sure at some point we pulled a LaMelo-based prism, and yet there was no sudden shrieking from you as though your toe had been suddenly removed. You know? I don't know, guys. I guess what I'm going to say is that moving forward, I think I would be more comfortable if Ricky did the breaks from now on. Ricky, you've got a talent for raising your voice unnecessarily at very times. And while it's highly off-putting, I do feel it is a core skill for being a breaker these days. It just is. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I want you guys to know. Other than that, I appreciate you guys. I enjoy the show. Keep up the good. Well, keep working.
That might be the
Great
funniest.
Overall.
That may be the funniest voicemail we've ever received.
Yes, that's pretty
there.
good.
It's up there.
And I realize I am going to need to do some work this weekend and see if that audio we recorded is salvageable.
Oh,
Because what you guys don't know, and Tim did kind of tell you, Chad and I were screaming in Tim's ear nonstop.
I couldn't
that
focus.
entire break. I told you right after the break, Tim, I was shocked that you held it together as well as you did.
so was I. That was really impressive.
Oh,
We
I
were
mean, like I
chirping
legit have ADHD. Yeah, I mean, it's like I could not focus worth anything. I had like four different things going on.
We did everything we could to sabotage that break.
You did.
Ruin your day. We were unsuccessful. But your boy, Mr. eBay, hit the LaMelo.
Uh-huh.
We're going to talk about
You
it.
did.
Oh, yeah.
You did.
Coming up next.
There's an Adam. Oh, it's a 101.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pack to the Future. I'm your host, Ricky, a.k.a. Mr. eBay. And I am joined by my co-host and partner in crime, Dr. Chad.
Someone called for a doctor?
How you doing, Doc?
Good, my man.
And we're joined, as always. He broke his foot today, ladies. Dr. Kim!
Here we go, baby.
The double beep.
Underwhelmed.
Oh, yeah. This week's show, we're going to talk about cards that don't get love. And we're going to talk about my LaMelo ball. And
Naturally.
we're going to talk about first cards that currently suck. How was that
You'll never guess who picked the topic of these cards are meh.
You couldn't
Come
tell.
on. I'm a beaming ray of sunshine every week.
So going back to that voicemail in the first segment, Mr. Carter says that he knows, Tim, that you reserve yourself for the show.
Right.
But
Clearly,
outside the show,
just for the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Outside the show, he's the Tasmanian devil.
You can't stop him. You cannot stop him.
Timmy, you compiled a list of cards that suck. And I think it's time. I think that cards are getting way too much love right now. Everyone's in on them, even the celebrities. It's time for us to tell you what cards suck and are not worth the time to even look at them.
Nope. Going straight in the garbage.
All right. So
Time to take everything down a notch. Yep.
I think the best way to handle this, Timmy, is I'm going to have you rattle off the different types of cards that suck, and Chad and I will give you some thoughts. Does that sound good, guys?
I'm in.
And rapid fire, or do you want me to pause after each one?
Yeah, do a little pause. You know, we don't want this to be a 30-second segment.
Right.
Let's have a little discussion.
Could read it pretty slowly. Yeah. All right. No, let's get this show on the road. So booklet cards.
Now,
Why?
booklet cards, initially, I disagree strongly. I think booklet cards are so cool to look at. Every time I see them in the card shop, I have to stop and look. But you put something in here. You asked us if we've ever seen a BGS slab for a booklet card.
Mm-hmm.
Chad, do you want to share your opinion? Have you ever seen one?
No, I don't know that I ever have. I do like seeing the booklets, but I don't think I've ever seen one slabbed.
I think our local card shop might have one up front. Maybe I'm misremembering that. They're awful. They are horrific. They don't fit the size of the card, period.
At all. No, anybody who's listening right now, just pause the show, go look for one on eBay or something. Look for an example. They're absolutely just, yeah.
It's like this big. It's like almost like a comic book size slab.
Yeah.
That has to go around it. And then it takes up 1/4 of the slab.
Yeah. It's got this little tiny booklet. Yeah, I know.
At that point. Does PSA, I tried to find a PSA slab though for a booklet. Do they even do booklets?
I don't know. I'll search. I'll search right now.
I don't think I've ever seen a PSA one. Have you, Timmy, that you can think of?
No, not. Yeah, I mean, not that I've ever come across or that anybody's ever made fun of. So I'm assuming they probably don't exist. I mean, I know that PSA do slab authentic items, and so they don't always have to be just trading cards. But I've never seen a graded slab for a booklet.
Yeah, I ran a search for it. It was kind of tough to find. I mean, I don't always have the best search term, so maybe Chad will have a little more luck. But that was telling to me that you can't even find them if PSA is saying, hey, we're not touching them for whatever reason. And with the business that Beckett and PSA are currently doing, there is absolutely no reason that they cannot custom fit a slab. There is no reason that they cannot be in communication with Panini and Topps saying, give us the layouts of your upcoming card releases so we can be prepared.
Absolutely. I think that's ridiculous, right? Because, I mean, certain card types, I mean, it's not like they've gone away. Horizontal and vertical booklets, like they've been in products for at least 5 years at this point, right? Maybe even longer.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
No, see,
Nothing.
I don't think PSA does it. I have seen, and Chad, I think you've maybe seen this guy before too in some of the Facebook groups that he does custom. Allen and Ginter has a small booklet that they offer sometimes, and it's a little patch. It's the size of a tobacco card, but a booklet effectively. And this guy has created like custom sized. They have screws in them, so it reminds me of those old school mags that we had with the screws. But it looks really nice, and I'm just like, why can't Beckett or PSA do this? It would look so cool if you could just custom fit it nice and neat. I think it'd be a really cool piece to display. Yeah.
It would make them look so much better, right? I mean, you've got some guy in his garage with his little, tool set, like making these custom cases. You're telling me that a multi-billion-dollar corporation, million-dollar corporation can't figure that out?
Right.
Not acceptable.
And then, Timmy, you also mentioned the National Treasure's treasure chest.
Oh gosh, don't get me started on these.
Chad, did you look it up at all?
Yeah, I've seen some treasure chests.
No, I mean, these
Tell
are
us about
such
them.
cool cards, right? Like people enter these national treasures breaks and they're like, oh, like I hope we pull a treasure chest. And you're seeing the breaker like pull out the little, box of cards, and you're like, oh no, it's a thin box. There's not going to be a booklet or a treasure chest in it. Then you pull one out and the breaker screams inappropriately, and then there's this, super thick box, and you're like, oh, it's going to be a treasure chest. And then they get to it, and you open it up and you're like, oh, cool. There's like 36 different patches. There's like 12 different autos or 16 different autos. You open it up and it's like this big monstrosity on the screen, and you're like, how am I going to display that?
Yeah, I don't know. I would still get super fired up if I hit a treasure chest. I don't know that you can really appropriately display it. However, if you had it, I would pull it out and look at it from time to time.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I tend to agree with you on the patches. I'm kind of over patches for the most part. But when you get those autographs, those are pretty damn cool. And every time Chad and I are in the local card shop, when there is one on display, I freeze in my tracks every time.
Yeah.
And every name. It is a display piece. If you were to find one, again, I'll send you back to this guy that did the Allen and Ginter stuff. I'll find his stuff and see if I can't put it on Twitter, his website. Because he might even offer an option for these booklets.
Oh, no, he does. I don't know if we're talking about the same guy, but I've seen custom plastic ones with like custom colors with like silver rivets that fit any of these booklets. And yeah, what you said is true, Ricky. Like you stop in your tracks when you see these. Anybody who gets one of these in their personal collection, like it should be the showstopper. It should be one of those feature booklets. It should be like in the center of your display case or your shelf, whatever. Like it should be there. But there's no good way to display them without like completely ruining your card by like unfolding it and leaving it exposed to the sun, like your Barry Sanders.
Yeah. Hey, that's a 9. That's a gem.
It's a 9. That's right. Yeah.
Near mint.
We're going to keep bringing that up now, huh? Someone pointed out on YouTube, by the way, go subscribe to us on YouTube. So now come back
to the Future podcast. Yep.
I forgot about this. The back of that autograph card of the HGA Donovan Mitchell was also rated a 9. The autograph was.
Oh, that's right. It was a 9.
All of it was 9. It was just awful.
That's so horrible. It's so hard to get a 9 auto these days.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Even Tim gets 10s on autos.
They have to really dislike you for a 9. Okay, so let's get to the next card, the next type of card that sucks. Chad, I know you had some thoughts on this.
Yeah, I might be alone on this, but I don't think I am. Horizontal cards. Boo.
You're so wrong.
Boo.
You're so wrong.
Why?
Horizontal cards are bad if you grade them, but otherwise, I will make the case right now why a horizontal card or photo is literally the greatest piece of art that we have in cards. I have 3 cards from my personal collection to show you. They're all horizontal. They are 3 of my most favorite. Number 1, we have 2017 limited trio autographs, Elway, Terrell Davis, Rod Smith, 101, gifted by Mr. Ricky. For those of you watching us on YouTube, you can see the card right now. Look how beautiful that is. That would not work like this. Look at that.
It wouldn't work. Okay.
Look at those glorious men in their autographs.
But so like, well, maybe you have another example, but go ahead.
Yeah, I have 20 more examples. Number 2, Rudy Gobert, Noir, laundry tag. Look how beautiful that one of one is.
Okay.
And again, if it wasn't set up in the horizontal, you couldn't see the broad shoulders of Mr. Gobert along with his laundry tag next to him.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that, man. Last one I'll show you, and I've got more examples. 2017-18 Noir, Donovan Mitchell, RPA, black and white. Again, horizontal. Look how beautiful that card is.
No, but you're taking a booklet card, shrinking it down to fit on a horizontal card. Come on.
I got a feeling Chad's about to agree with you.
Why? Because this vein's bulging out of my head. Okay, so there's some other very iconic cards that are horizontal. How about 2008 Topps basketball? Okay. LeBron James with the powder.
All right.
Yeah. Kobe Bryant being guarded by LeBron, one of the most iconic Kobe Bryant cards that are out there. And again, you get that wide lens photo set in a horizontal landscape.
Are all
I
of
found some
Panini-
others.
Are all of Panini 1-in-1s horizontal?
No, they're not.
But they're
Most.
no, not all of them are,
All
but
the good
some
ones.
of their best photos are. So the timeless moments, the John Stockton signature that we talked about is horizontal. The Dennis Rodman, where he's laying out to catch the ball,
Yes.
Tim. That
yeah.
is an
Okay.
iconic Dennis Rodman moment, again captured
Uh,
horizontally. Noir has done some other things in 2016 with their spotlight signatures that have great photos in a horizontal landscape. 2019 Impeccable Football had stadium, like a silhouette of a stadium in the background with their rookie signatures. All right, Tim, you're not buying it yet? Horizontal photos. Have you ever heard of the Starry Night or the Last Flippin' Supper? They aren't vertical, they're horizontal.
We're talking basketball cards, baseball cards, not pieces of art or photos that are 8x10 to begin with. Good grief.
Hey, Tim, you just turned the slab sideways and it's no big deal.
No, that's my point. Stop. That is the exact same point. So you take a horizontal card, you take it to BGS or you take it to PSA. Which way are they going to put the slab? Like, which way is the label going to be? Right or left? This is very divisive. And they can't even get it straight depending on the grading company. Like, even with their own slabbing.
Oh.
Chad.
So like you're gonna tell me, Ricky, that you like it's not gonna bother you when you display a horizontal card vertically and then one of them's got the label, the other one's got the other orientation?
No, that would drive me insane, and I would
Exactly.
immediately for a reslab. I'm being honest.
I wish, why don't they put the label up top? Ricky, this is what you guys were talking about last time, almost with the booklets. Why can't they make a description of the slab on top of the horizontal card?
There's no reason. It is strictly cost cutting.
That would be a great solution.
One size fits all,
Yeah.
or fits most, and it's ridiculous. It was maybe acceptable 2 years ago when the card market wasn't doing as well, but this is absurd. With PSA shutting down, they're getting so many so many new clients that they're having to shut down to clean out their warehouse. You're telling me you can't spend a few extra shekels and come up with a custom fit? Talk to your boys at Panini and Topps, say, give us a rundown of what the goddamn cards are going to look like.
I just realized why they shut down. Nat Turner was behind on episodes of Pack to the Future podcast. He's listening right now. When they come back in July, we've got our slab solution for the horizontal cards.
There we go.
And it all comes together.
$250.
We should get to this episode by July.
I don't think so.
Okay, we got a couple more minutes, so let's jump into some of these with some maybe a lightning round.
I think we'll agree on most of these.
Yes.
Okay. This one should be unanimous. Sticker autos.
Awful. They got to go.
Especially with current players. And if they sign at all, for example, David Robinson did this on one of my cards. When they sign off the sticker, it's worthless to me. Absolutely.
Looks horrible.
I don't believe they signed half of them. I know they're supposed to have a rep watching. I don't believe it.
Well, I told you that Pace Mannion had his daughter sign about half of his autographs. So don't know if I'm supposed to put that in.
Lose mom.
Here, but there it is, living in all its infamy. Okay, next one. Printing plates.
Printing plates. Yep.
Typically, I do agree with you that they stink. Although I've got to say, the last few weeks, I've noticed a trend with me in particular that I'm coming and just bitching and complaining nonstop about the prices of cards. And it was time that I did something about it. So I followed Boston Steve's advice. I followed your urging, Chad and Tim's. And I've started looking to work on my goals. I lost this morning for the first time a bid on a Jeff Malone PSA graded 9 rookie.
Oh wow!
I think I'd bid like $45 and was positive no one was going to bid more. You know, it was sold for 80.
Sounds reasonable.
What?
For 80?
Are you sure it wasn't Karl Malone, man?
No, Karl Malone sold for $260.
Oh my goodness!
1 minute earlier.
That's got to be the only Jeff Malone card ever graded.
I know. No, you can't even find it. I was furious. I can buy an 8 for about $100 now. That guy can get screwed. But here's something to remember. In my process, one of the things I did pick up was a Jeff Malone patch auto, okay, from Spectra.
Okay.
Also, for about $10, I got the black printing plate, 1 of 1 of that card. Now I can say I own a Jeff Malone, my favorite player, 101. if you're looking for that, this is a really good, relatively cheap way to still enjoy your cards. So I'm going to come at you guys every week with new ideas on how to enjoy this hobby. I am reinvigorated.
Rick, Tim, like, you want to go 6 or nothing on the bet?
6 or nothing. Yeah, no, I think we're up to 7. We might be 7.
I think we are. We'll be waiting for that,
No.
Ricky. I love it, but we'll be waiting for that.
No, yeah, I applaud you, Ricky. I mean, that's really cool that you're finding another way to enjoy this hobby. You're carving out a little way. I mean, that's been hard to do. Like we've talked about that and gotten depressed about it. But printing plates. So can you show us your printing plate? Like, can you tell that it's Jeff Malone on it?
Yes, because it's black. I also saw the yellow one and it was worthless. You know what I mean? So I agree with you that most printing plates, you can't even tell it's the player. It is horrific. But in this time where people are losing their minds, I had to remind myself this morning, it's Jeff effing Malone. There will be cards that are affordable of Jeff Malone at some point in my lifetime. Sorry. So remember
Always.
that. Don't dive into this and say, I have to own that David Robinson rookie that I never went after my first 20 years of life, but now I have to own it at $500.
I feel like Ricky's talking to me.
Don't play that game.
I think he is.
Go after your cheap printing plate. Now's the time to go after those things that you never thought you had time for. The printing plates, the PSA graded 9 rookies that don't sell for $85.
Tim, Ricky and I thinks that we're his puppets, and I know he's talking to me through this. I'm not listening.
I see the string.
What's the next one? What's the next topic?
Vintage Hall of Fame player relics. Napkin patches, technically.
Okay.
Are you talking like Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, pieces of jersey? Because that's the damn coolest thing of all time.
Yeah, I've got a Jackie Robinson piece of jersey, and I'll never sell that. That's awesome.
Same with my Ty
I'm
Cobb.
actually not sure why I put this one on the list, so I'll thumbs down myself.
Tim oftentimes well, no, I should stop. Okay, what's next?
Cut autos of checks specifically.
Again, I think it's acceptable when it's Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb. If they are dead and have been dead for a significant
I think they're fun. Yeah.
There's more like digits of their checking account number than there is auto on these patches or cuts, though.
Yeah, but then you maybe get their checking number.
But it's a piece of them, right?
Like
Like, I think Ricky and I
episode.
talked about this in one of the very first episodes, that you almost feel like you've had a part of their history in their life. And I know that that's a gross overstatement. However, I don't know. I'm kind of with Ricky on this one.
You're right on. And for me, I really liked, we remember earlier, probably 6 months ago, a little bit longer, I got the Ty Cobb letters that he had written.
Oh, yeah.
And you just got like a word from him.
Yep.
You didn't even necessarily get his name. I thought that was cool just because it was like intimate. And it's something he wrote on. And that's really the idea behind an autograph, right? It's to memorialize you meeting that person and them touching something and signing it.
Yeah.
I think we've lost track of that a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Tim?
Yeah.
You're batting an even 6, PSA 6. Get on to the next one.
Yeah. Manufactured items. So specifically patches, like the fake rookie patches or all-star patches, or like, team logo patches, or
Christmas
stamped
sweaters.
coins, stamped silvers.
Christmas sweaters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That don't even belong to the player. What is the point? I get it. Like I get a patch that someone has put on 50 jerseys of, right? I'll accept that. The guy didn't even wear this sweater. He didn't even probably look at this sweater. And it's not like it's a super cool sweater patch. It's a little navy or white napkin patch.
Right. It's
probably
not
from
even like
Grandma
ugly Christmas sweater.
Jean went to the fabric store and had too much fabric. All right.
Oh, I love that this podcast is being recorded on the video format.
You're going to see me. My face gets about this bright red.
Yeah.
Next one.
Well, I mean, I think so. Gems. I still remember when Panini Flawless came out and the first gem diamond card got pulled out of a $1,000 briefcase, and I was like, "What the F is that? Like, why is that the case hit? But just yesterday, one of my friends showed me a picture of the Steph Curry MVP 1 of 1 with diamond in it. So Steph 1 of 1, $9,000, ended at $9,000 at auction. I mean,
I don't see the point in these. Is it so you can match your wife's jewelry? I
yeah,
mean,
it's so bizarre. Tim, you hit the Trey Young
gemstone.
follows. Remember? You were super stoked about it. You sold the card for 5 figures, but I agree. Like the card was not him at all. I'm with you. Manufactured gems, 2 thumbs down.
Here's what I think they should do instead: get rip cards and put anywhere between $1 and $1,000 in them.
Oh,
problem solved. All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the players that don't get the love they deserve in cards. We'll be right back after this.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to Pack to the Future podcast. Don't forget, I am trying to populate our YouTube account with some videos to prove to Ricky and Tim that it can work. So please, even if you despise me, go to our YouTube and subscribe and watch the videos.
Where can they find our YouTube?
Probably through Google and youtube.com at Pack to the Future podcast.
Right. Pulls up pretty easily. Yeah.
You'll see the caricature with my ear that's about 47 feet wide.
A wonderful
and
YouTube
you'll be able
channel.
to see my ear on the YouTube channel. So, wow, that derailed itself quickly. Ricky will never again let me do an intro.
Oh, no, you're doing them the rest of the month, baby.
So. oh boy. I don't even know where I went. Tim, we got another segment. Tell us about segment 2.
So we got a little fired up last segment, but this one, I think we probably will agree on a lot of these. But these are player cards or player types, player positions. I don't know. Player cards that get no love.
Okay.
And I think the easiest example is, why don't defensive player cards get more love? Because Panini sure tries to put them in Contenders Football every year.
You compared Tom Brady to Brian Urlacher.
Yeah, in our show notes, man. You're such a homer.
Oh.
You said last week you aren't a Bears fan. You have one comparison for defensive player. It's Brian Urlacher versus Tom Brady rookie cards. Do we need to explain that one to you?
It's the starkest contrast. I mean, that totally fits, what a Bears player is worth. Freaking Brian Urlacher, like his refractor, it wasn't even his base, so it should have been the more rare card, was only worth $800 as a PSA 10. And the Tom freaking Brady, the paper card, just paper base, at one point was flying around the rooms I was in at $1,000 a piece. Last one just sold for $18,500.
Wow. Yeah. No. We give you a hard time, but you're dead on with this, Timmy. I remember as I got back into collecting, one of the first boxes I opened with Chad, Elite Football, and I hit a Joey Bosa rookie, the Pen Pals.
Yeah, which should have been a great card, right?
Right. Top 3 pick. And we were super excited, high five. And I was like, yeah, this is going to be the next Reggie White. I'm going to be a millionaire. I think I sold it for $20. I also got his brother. I probably sold it for more than 20, but it was ridiculous.
Relatively. Yeah.
Right.
Same with his brother, Nick. Now, I know that there's some issues with Nick Bosa. So that might have played a part. But no, neither of their cards sell for much. And it's really quite surprising because they are some of the dominant defensive players in the league.
Yeah, but the defensive players really, no matter what sport, are not particularly flashy. They're usually not MVP candidates. They're usually they're not what people go to the games for or turn on the television for. And that in some aspect drives the price of cards. And so I think that's probably why. Of course, Rudy Gobert is going to change all of that naturally. Goes without saying.
Jets fans, get your Go Bears now. This is the time to go after.
No, I'm buying them all. Wait a few months. But you're exactly correct about defensive players. And the analogy is, God, just spot on. Brady versus Urlacher. Who would have thought? My money would have been on Urlacher.
He's going to be, Hall of Fame players.
Didn't you roast him on Facebook and denounce your Bears fandom and have this whole rant about Brian Urlacher just a month ago?
this summer especially, he just kind of went off the rails on Twitter, and yeah, you're allowed to have your opinions, but he just kind of like he opened his mouth where he didn't need to open his mouth on social media, and that was kind of like the beginning of the end of my love for him as a player.
Uh-oh.
Definitely tainted things. I mean, it shouldn't, right? Like, I mean, it's his opinion. That's fine.
And I didn't mean to put you in a weird spot with that. I was just trying to figure out if you're boys with him at this point, or if you guys have, if you're fighting, or what your relationship is with Brian Urlacher on this particular day.
Yeah, no, I've dumped his cards. He's a sayonara.
Do you prefer bald Brian Urlacher to just for men hair plug?
No, definitely bald. If you're going bald, just own it.
No,
just shave it.
Oh, you're talking Urlacher.
And he's one of those that I thought he looked good bald.
Yeah, he did.
So
no!
I hope my beautiful wife likes me bald, because it's going to happen here in shortly. This hairline isn't getting any.
It's inching.
No, but there's a funny story there. So I grew up near the suburbs of Chicago, right? So I flew out of O'Hare plenty of times. And so you get to your flight, like way early. You're checking in like 2 hours early. So I'm walking down one of these terminals, and I just see this big hulking dude in front of me. I'm like, either A, celebrity, B, football player. And as I get closer, like this guy's neck is like the size of my thigh or bigger, right? And I'm like, who the heck is this guy? So I kind of like take one of those walkways and get a little bit ahead of him, and then I do a little head swivel. It's Brian Urlacher. Like, I mean, he was impressive in person. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, card wise, no.
Did you say, wait, Brian?
Yeah, my buddy Brian. Yeah.
Did you inquire about his neck size being greater than 18 and a half inches and his risk factor for obstructive sleep apnea?
Does that increase if you're above 18 and a half?
Oh yeah.
I'm at 18 and a half.
Well, it's part of the stop bang criteria, Ricky.
Oh, so I got to get down.
And with that note, pitchers.
Yes. Pitchers.
Perfect segue. Yeah, I mean, I purposely picked Clayton Kershaw for this because he is arguably one of the best pitchers and very, very talented. His cards were at least notable in the hobby for quite some time, and still probably are. But you look back on his 2006 Bowman draft, first auto, his PSA 10 just sold for $3,900 a couple days ago.
Wow.
And you compare that to a position player. So Acuna, he's only been in the league for a few years, and his first Bowman auto, PSA 10, $7,000 already. Like, the dude hasn't even proven enough over time. Yeah, he's really flashy, really great, probably will end up great, but he's already worth more than a really established, now World Series champion pitcher.
Now, I get that, the argument could be made easily that this is the same thing as the defensive players that Chad said. They're not the flashy ones. They're not the home run hitters. I get that. But in a sport where we celebrate the achievements of defense so much, particularly pitchers, it really did surprise me that they are not more valuable. And again, positive Ricky, this is the go for your pitchers. I recently looked up some old Justin Verlander autographs. They were shockingly affordable.
Yeah.
So some of those, and I never looked up Verlander thinking, that's going to be $1,000 card someday when I have the money for it. No, it's in the $100 range. So, you can go for those. I don't recommend grading them anymore. I think Kenta Maeda was the last one I graded.
Whoops. And even that Kershaw that you noted, Tim, that card I was just looking is up 400% in the past year. So even with that 400% increase, it's still so much lower. Yep.
Yeah, I remember it being lower. I was actually surprised at the $3,900, mark, but yeah.
Let's jump into the next one. College. This was a big one for me.
Was it?
Well, I just did a lot of thinking, and Chad and I will go ask, we'll see a product. Chad's fallen for this twice in the last month, which I love.
What's that?
He says, how much is that National Treasures? And then you realize,
yeah.
That's a fantastic price. Oh,
yep. And, get my hopes up.
And I do the same thing. And I really, I'm not going after a Zion rookie card from Duke ever. Not ever will I purchase one of those cards. However, positive Ricky, I am curating. I'm going through all my favorite Utah players and getting their cards. And there's some really cool finds.
You can't just say positive Ricky 3 times in a show and make it become fact.
New character.
I
That's
see
my
what
new-
you're doing. I'm on to you.
the people gave me my new nickname.
The people.
You gave yourself your new nickname.
There's no
You're
people.
trying to subliminally plant it into our mind. Like, yeah, people have been saying positive Ricky for a while.
Ricky, like on the Zoom call, has now not just displayed his name as Ricky. It's positive Ricky.
That's what they call me on the streets.
Oh man, I forgot what we were talking about. College, yeah. So I'm not a fan. Tim, you and I, we've talked about this before. We ripped a box of College National Treasures basketball last year, the Zion
right.
year. We hit an RJ Barrett number to 5 autograph and immediately
go
sold it.
Duke.
This was before the
Yep.
season even started.
Yeah.
We had no intention of keeping that card at all. Like it
Nope.
just had no interest for us.
Yeah. And you just knew the second you opened it, basically, you cracked it out of that box, like it's going to start depreciating, just like a car that you drive off the lot. I mean,
Right.
it was just bad. Yeah.
And it kind of surprises me in some ways in that we have gone so big after designating a rookie card, right? And not just rookie cards. Nowadays, there are true rookies, but back in the Jeff Malone, John Stockton.
Oh, gosh.
No, seriously, the card I was bidding on, I realized he had stats for like 3 years prior. He just wasn't popular enough to have a card.
To produce a
so
card.
that's
I
his
get what you're
rookie
saying.
card.
Yeah.
So we've given this artificial value, right, to a rookie card. Why?
Mhm.
It's just the first card that comes out. Well,
Mhm.
by that logic, you would think college would be more valuable than it is, at least.
Right.
And I'm guessing that part of that has to do with the fact that they don't really develop into superstars in college. Occasionally you have a Zion, but they still aren't who they're going to ultimately become, maybe. Why? I'm just trying
The
to
fan
think of-
base. The
Yeah.
fan base
base,
shrinks in professional sports, right? Like you have hundreds of NCAA teams, but that shrinks down obviously to 30 or 32. And maybe that's it. Maybe that plays a part.
But like it doesn't seem like anyone really is collecting college stuff. I don't know of anyone that
I
does.
don't know of anyone either.
Yeah, unless you're like a big Ducks fan and you're a Justin Herbert fan at the same time. I don't know. Like, right.
Yeah.
Even Zion, who, obviously impressed the heck out of people at Duke. Yeah. I mean, are there that many people chasing his college stuff? No.
Not
but-
anymore.
They should have
It's
put
great.
that shoe in there. I
Yeah,
told
they
you guys
should
they
have,
put the
right?
exploding shoe. I'll go chase that card.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would have been an awesome relic to chase.
Mhm.
What's not awesome to chase are coach cards. Why did Panini try that again in 2017? Like just why? Like I remember opening my first pack of cards from that year. I'm going through these cards. Like I didn't know in advance that they were going to put the coach cards in there. I'm like, Tom Thibodeau, like what? Like
Yeah. Prism Panini is just determined to get us to not buy their product at any cost.
They don't care what they put in there. They know we have to buy it. There's no competition.
Exactly. I have a little bit of a different take on this in that, and what got me going was when I went through my old collection from when I was a kid and kind of pared that down into what is now my PC. There were a number of cards from the early 90s, late 80s that are now coaches, but they were players at the time. Steve Kerr, for example.
right,
Those were
right.
fun to kind of save.
okay. Yeah, like a Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr,
Yeah, and
player
I don't,
coaches.
right, and I don't look as negatively on coaches' cards now, later in life, because I knew them as players.
Positive.
They're
Ricky.
still worth.
Yeah. What is this, Chad? What is this? Come on.
But
Just
you're
ruined
right.
the whole segment.
They are still worthless, and for
There you
Prism
go.
of
That's
all
better.
Prism of all product to waste $1,800 a box, and you're gonna get a effing coach.
Yeah, no thanks.
What?
Nope.com. Yeah. What about a red parallel coach card? How about that, Carter?
Oh, Tim, you got to make one and send it to him. That would be fantastic.
It's
Now-
done.
Timmy, before you jump to the last one, you did jump over one, and that is centers in basketball. And I thought that was riveting because when you have a great center, no
Mhm.
one dominates the floor like them.
Mhm. That's true.
Shaquille O'Neal is the
Yep.
latest that really comes to mind.
Olajuwon. I mean,
Oh yeah, you could
Yeah.
keep going in the 90s.
Mhm.
Why aren't these cards selling more?
it's a crime because like we were highly entertained by these players when they were in the league. It's not like, oh, it's a Will Purdue, right? I mean, it's
It's the same thing with Rudy Gobert, where I think Rudy
Yeah.
Gobert, at least maybe not this year, and maybe not even in the playoffs last year, but prior to that, I think he was the better player than Donovan Mitchell, more talented
Jazz.
overall on the Jazz.
Yes. And fun fact about Will Purdue, his favorite cookie is a chocolate chip cookie. I used to chase around players inside the Marriott Hotel, which was connected to Crossroads Mall in downtown Salt Lake City. And Will Purdue, I chased him into the mall and followed him in line to Mrs. Fields Cookies to get his autograph. He bought chocolate chip cookies. I bought my cookies, and then I got his autograph.
With your buddy Adam?
Yeah, actually, Adam might have been there. My buddy Adam may have been there with me. He was my partner in crime to go chase people around.
You guys were troublemakers back in those days.
With cookies.
This is Fields.
But yes, centers. So Rudy Gobert, I don't understand it. I am definitely a homer. Like, I totally get that.
Right.
But as a potential investment type opportunity, the Jazz last night, as of the time of this recording, played the Suns. DeAndre Ayton is a beast.
Yeah.
The Suns are looking real nice. They're currently number 2 in the West. You want a guy to go prospect on. I know these center cards don't appreciate a ton, but oh man, he looks good. And that's a team, maybe not a legit title contender. I think they are. They look really good.
If Utah is, they are.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially with how they're playing lately. Yeah.
Yeah, he looked really good. So I don't get it with centers. I don't understand it.
No, and maybe that's the place you find some value if you want your, I am a fan of David Robinson. Randomly, he's one of the guys I collected as a kid. So I've been going after some of his stuff. Not that expensive. So that might be a fun way to collect and not break the bank if you're looking online.
There's Positive Ricky again.
Positive Ricky.
You want to talk about the next segment and the next topic in the next segment?
Yeah, we can bump that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when we come back, we're going to hit you with a potpourri of hobby topics. We'll be right back after this. All right, everyone, welcome back to the show. You can always reach out to us on our Instagram at Pack to the Future Podcast. You can also check us out on YouTube now. Go show us some love, subscribe. If we get enough interest in the YouTube channel, we're going to be looking to putting live shows, video shows of us on the site. So it's a really cool way to check out the show, see what we're all about, and see Chad's terrible haircut.
Hey, look, I'm at least combing it forward now. I didn't do the Gordon Hayward thing anymore. I've got a lot of gray hair of what I got left.
Yeah, you're looking good today, Span. Oh, I'll bleep that. I'll bleep that.
The video.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
shit.
Oh well. What are we gonna do? It's out there.
I'll find
it
it
over.
My life is over.
Okay, so Timmy, for this segment, you hit us with a couple of big pieces of hobby news. The first is that Topps is going public.
Yeah, this was big news that somebody else actually texted me about Tuesday morning, and I was like, huh? My initial reaction, like, I really didn't know how to react, but Michael Eisner, former Disney CEO, so he disclosed that morning that his private firm, the Tornante Company, was going to roll all of its equity into this new public entity, basically taking Topps public under the entity Mudrick Capital Acquisition Corporation II. But basically, Topps is going to get traded publicly.
Literally.
Yeah. And their value is estimated at 1.3 billion. So currently trading on NASDAQ under MUDS, MUDS, and then eventually they'll switch over to TOPS or TOPP. But I just didn't know how to react because Topps, like kind of underwhelming right now. And as far as what they're doing with baseball, I don't think they really have a clear direction for how they're going to take things. They're trying to do like this direct to consumer stuff, but then you roll that into what Disney's already been doing with Disney Plus, and I would say greatly succeeding at. It's inevitable that Disney and Topps are going to find something that clicks and just makes gobs and gobs and gobs and gobs of money.
So Ricky had some fascinating insight about this just before the break. Ricky, tell the guys what you were telling us about your insight with this.
So my insight is that this seems like a terrible investment.
Really?
Yes. Panini knows what they're doing, not Topps. Panini The football, the basketball is what's unaffordable. It's not the baseball. I think you buy into this, you're buying into the next leaf.
Ouch. Those are scathing words.
I didn't realize Eisner was involved with it, though. That gives me a lot of optimism that they may do well.
Dude's been successful.
And you're right. He has the connections to Disney to bring them in for maybe a cool set. I don't know if Disney's ever going to sell to the general public in the hobby, though.
They have no need to. I think they're probably a little behind the times in that regard, and they probably won't see the merit in this. They probably don't understand NFTs, that's for sure. So
let me just say this now. I will never
I just fell asleep.
I will never own an NFT. You just put Chad to sleep. I will never own an NFT.
Didn't you guys hear the news about Tom Brady getting behind this? Like, he's got some big plan out there. Probably Giselle and everybody are gonna
Luka
hop on
Garza
his
has
nuts
an
more.
NFT. Luka Garza.
But does Brian Urlacher have an NFT?
He probably does.
Oh man, but that is interesting that Top's going public. I would hope that they get to that TOPP designation sooner than later. I wouldn't be that excited buying stock in whatever the hell it was before that.
Drugs or muds or something like that?
Yeah.
That's just interesting.
Now, Timmy, hit us with this next discussion, because I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, no. So just like how you've been scouring eBay and just kind of scrolling through, buying some stuff.
Right.
I had a thought. Triggered by last week's episode about PSA and the grading fees and shutting down everything under $300.
Mm-hmm.
The bare minimum when they reopen, barring you buying a membership and getting the access to the $20 value grading fee, $100. $100 is the bare minimum it'll cost for you to send in the card. That doesn't include shipping and insurance. So you're probably out $125 for any card that you're going to send in. There are cards of some really great players, of really good inserts from really good products that are hard to hit. Chad, you've touched on inserts recently. They should be a chase card. Like, we went nuts over hitting a rare pull in the 90s. Why aren't we reacting the same way? Like, I'll even get excited about this. If I were to pull a cool insert during a break, I might actually raise my voice a couple notches.
Positive Tim.
Positive Tim. Positive Ricky.
What do you?
But why aren't we doing? Well, no. So I didn't finish the thought. But so
Wrap it up, son. This is an
I
hour
will.
long podcast.
This is a Chad Sile story. Sorry.
Good Lord.
All right. I'll keep this next part short. So $125. There are multiple insert cards graded PSA 10 under $100 still on eBay. You're not going to see more population of these cards moving forward. You're not, because nobody's sending these cards in. So just a thought.
That's
just something that clicked while I was basically on the toilet.
So what you're saying is we should go after these inserts that have already been graded.
It's a no-brainer. Like, I don't have very many good ideas, but I think this is a legitimate no-brainer. Like, you're buying cards for less than the cost of grading of, like, cards that are rare. Rarity matters. At some point, this will finally click for people. Like your Donovan Mitchell phenomenon insert from Select of his rookie year. That was a rare card.
You've got my attention, Dr. Sadim. I'm big on this insert game. I think that we need to value them more as well. There's nothing better than a cool insert set to collect. What do you think, Chad?
I'm on eBay buying one right now.
He legitimately has stopped the show and
he's been distracted
eBay buying inserts.
I was trying to see if I could buy all of them by the time Tim wrapped that up. Tim, I'm only ribbing you because now we're even.
I know.
How about this? How about this Power in the Key Michael Jordan PSA 7?
Sure.
Oh, come on. You get out of here. You guys suck. You guys are the worst friends ever.
It's a PSA 10, Chad. Come on.
What do you think I'm made of? I'm not an orthopedist.
You're the guy buying horizontal RPAs off of eBay lately. So
I have nothing. I have no rebuttal.
Let's talk breaks.
Yeah. Breaks that I have not been a part of and that many people should not be buying into, I think. You know, no offense to breakers out there who have to make a living, but
Right.
Have you guys seen the price of select football? Like, did you see that social media post by our local card shop owner about how much these boxes are going for currently, subject to change?
Subject to change in the next hour.
$12.50 a box for select. $12.50, $1,250.
And that's low compared to where you're finding it elsewhere.
Yeah, so here I am at like 11:30 p.m. after work. I'm kind of trying to wind down. I can't sleep, so I'm scrolling through these feeds of breakers, and $130 for a random team spot in 3 box breaks of select football. 3.
Ooh.
It works out to about just south of $1,400 a box that they're charging to break these. And I would say 31 of those spots are just going to take it up the butt. And then one spot might break even.
I'm looking at one person on this podcast to buy into such a ridiculous break. And I'm looking at you, Chad. I know you love your select. How many?
I do love select, but that price is just absurd to me. I do not do well in breaks. No, I'm out.
You know who does well in breaks though, and does well with one spot? That's the bottom guy on this podcast, which is currently Ricky. And I mean bottom as in video feed, but he's on the bottom of my screen. But Ricky, what did you hit last week with one spot?
The bottom
Remind
of
me
your,
again?
the bottom of your video feed and the bottom of your heart. I hit a LaMelo ball, and to Mysticata, my boy, we were screaming nonstop.
Yeah.
If multiple toes had been removed, I was screaming at both Chad to realize that I had the Hornets and Tim to acknowledge the hit. I did hit the LaMelo Ball rookie, and we've had a little off-air discussion about this card, whether we should maybe get it graded or not. And I think we're still in the phase of deciding that, but we do need to decide quickly. When I first hit this, this just goes to show how much basketball has changed in 2 years. When I first hit this, my number one thought was, I'll give it to my kid. He loves LaMelo Ball. I hate LaMelo Ball. And then I went on eBay and saw what these were selling for raw. He is not allowed to come within 10 feet of this card.
But if he traded you some of his Pokemon packs for that?
I wouldn't know what the hell to do with him if he did. Timmy, you were of the opinion, you saw it up close. You didn't think it would grade a 10.
It's not going to be a PSA 10, but you know what I saw on my Facebook feed that finally registered as what we should do with that is we should send that to Beckett because they're still turning things around when you pay for their 2-day submission level. And honestly, that's still less than the $300 Super Express at PSA. And I only say that because you could probably squeak out a 9 on the corners at Beckett. And that thing is centered. There was no other surface issues that I could see under magnification. So the edges are clean, the surface is clean, it's centered, which is actually really hard for Prism this year. And it's not even like a dinged corner. It's just like the paint like lifted, like the card corner is like just a little curled, like if your carpet was curled in the corner. That's it. It's not damaged.
Chad, you have the Rolodex of all the guests that have been on the show. Do you still have that Dr. Shines number? I need to give him a call.
I think we can get him back on.
And then you went into hiding.
What do you think I should do, Chad? You like this Beckett idea? I'm kind of intrigued by Timmy's Beckett idea.
Yeah, it depends what you want to do with it long term. If that's something where you would intend to sell it eventually.
I want to get rid of this as quickly as possible for the maximum benefit.
All right. So send it into Beckett. I think I'm not as familiar with their pricing. I think they have $100 or $150 submission. You can get it back pretty quick before just about anyone else.
5-day or 2-day or something. Yeah.
What was it, Tim?
I think it's 125 for 2-day.
Pull it up
they might have raised
chat
that
if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So if you do that, Ricky, and you get this card back and can sell it before the pop goes up, because you know that as soon as July 1 hits, they're going to be flooded with these cards. So if you can get it back in a slab before the rest of the people do, you're going to make a premium off of it. So I think it's worth sending in, throwing $100 to it, $150, get the card back here relatively quickly, and then sell it.
Yeah, I'll get rid of that scrub, and then I'll hold on to my red Malik Monk.
But hey, one last thing with that LaMelo, currently where we are is at the beginning of April. He's still out with his wrist injury, but if he comes back for the playoffs, assuming that they still make the playoffs, that would really be an ideal time to potentially capitalize. He has one big playoff game, and that's where you hit it. And I think Tim did something similar with Luca last year, if I'm not mistaken. That's when he fought with the guy on Facebook, was right around that time.
Yep, I sold right on his upswing as they entered the playoffs.
Yeah. What'd you find on the Beckett?
So it was, they jacked it all the way up to $250 a card if you want the subgrades, which you still do with Beckett.
You still do.
Because the label looks like garbage without them.
What's the turnaround?
It's 125 without. Well, they're not promising them anymore, but they just say it's premium. So that could be like 2 to 5 business days is pretty much what they're still coming back at.
Oh, that's incredibly fast. Yeah, you'll get that back by playoff time. I think at the worst, you would still get $250 out of it, right? Even if it graded poorly, like you would still
get. How much
get
were they selling for on on eBay, Ricky?
I saw one raw selling for $500.
Yeah,
exactly.
350 to 450, and you can get them up there for 500.
At what point?
Yep.
I was trying to explain this to my son. At what point do you guys think a PSA grade is the equivalent price of a raw card? Does that make sense, or less than?
It's 8.5 to 9.
Yeah, for the ultra modern.
Got it.
Yep.
All right. We also have National Treasures coming up.
Yeah. Remember how that went last year? I don't.
Okay, I have an immediate memory of this. When we were listening to the show about this last year, I distinctly remember I was out running through a neighborhood, and like early in the morning, and there was some dude out taking his garbage can out. And I'm just like, I was there, I heard Tim say it, but listening to it again just had me laughing hysterically about the time Tim slept through his Raz when he won a box of National Treasure. And this guy's looking at this insane runner running down the middle of a street, just laughing to himself hysterically, manically, maniacally. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but it made me laugh. And it was funny.
Jim, do you ever have this moment whenever I have a really funny line on the week prior, that week's show? I'm so excited to check my phone Saturday morning to hear what kind of accident Chad almost got into on his run. Like I live for making him laugh like an idiot on his runs.
Like the commercial where you say like Lori Marketing and have a seizure and die. Like
there are 6 women in Utah who are runners who are certain that a special needs guy was out running by himself, like making a major accomplishment. Not there's anything wrong with that, but I was having a hard time listening to that commercial.
And seriously, guys, go back and listen to our last 2 weeks of shows. You'll hear that commercial. It's one of the funniest things we've ever done as a show. I was listening to other podcasts over the weekend a couple of weeks ago and kept turning it off to go back to that commercial. Just dying.
So funny.
No, Chad and I are not buying National Treasures.
How can you? I mean, I'm terrified to know the price. It's not going to be pretty.
But also, Tim, and I don't say this to razz you, we didn't talk about this for the show, maybe one of the biggest cards you've ever pulled, maybe not the biggest, but do you remember National Treasures 2 years ago? With my first 101? You bought a box of National Treasure football. Do you remember what you pulled?
I know. So at the time, it was a good, not great hit, but it was okay. It was Josh Allen. It was definitely one of the RPAs you wouldn't have been disappointed by. Mm-hmm. And it was out in, the true RPA out of 99. RPA. Nice patch, a little squiggle in his auto. So maybe that's why I didn't keep it, or so I tell myself. But yeah, even if you hit one of those RPAs this year, I don't know that you're getting your money back, at least not right away. Maybe you are. It's basically a Justin Herbert lottery.
Was that the box you opened at our local card shop at the old location where she used to say, "Hey, get online on my Facebook and open your box of cards"?
Yeah, it was
actually a brilliant idea.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, I can't see myself even entering a Raz. It'll probably be like $300 a spot or like $500 a spot. Like you can't justify even taking that chance.
I can see you doing it, buddy.
Oh yeah. There's a 100% chance that Jimmy enters a Raz for National Treasures before the end of 2021 calendar year.
Give me some Ambien, give me my bonus check, and we'll see what happens.
Why are we not doing a squares with our listeners? You
Why
pick
aren't we?
the date that he breaks, and you win a prize.
Oh gosh, it's not where I thought you were taking that. But why aren't we? You're right. We should set this up.
It has gotta
$5 a
be-
square,
Tim,
and I'm doing the random.
Tim, I'm prepping the squares, and you've got to come up with the prize. It's got to be something from you.
Oh man.
We'll make this happen.
Oh, all right, guys. Well, that has been another fun show for Chad and Tim. I'm Ricky, the horizontal card, wishing all of you a one of one night.
Yeah, well, Kobe, LeBron, Kobe, they're the same. But do you guys remember when Tim set up the segment in segment 2 for me to talk about like the biggest card I've purchased in quite some time with the Prism super sick horizontal LeBron Kobe tribute dunk?
Yeah,
and I just
in big bold
completely whiffed.
letters highlighted in red or yellow, right?
Reading never has been my strong point.
LeBron James, Last Supper.